Good morning, students. Myself Kamal Nath, and again I am with you to continue the chapter Homesickness. This is the second video of English, and I will proceed to the story I left you last day. It became so long because the story is so long only, and so it takes time. So let's know every bit, every sentence. It is so interesting for you, as this is the story told by the writer Roald Dahl, but I think it's your story. Most of the time you feel like that when going to school. If someone is staying outside home, far from house, how do they feel? What kind of sickness they feel? How do they miss their parents, their family members, their relatives, and they want to spend a lot of time with them, very cordial time, very good time. They feel really very comfortable, they feel at ease, and they do not really pay attention that study is also important. They have to learn more skills outside staying, how they can be independent. So this is what the story in which the writer has narrated his childhood days, his boyhood days, when he was staying in a boarding school. In the last part, I told you he was describing about homesickness when he was in the hostel, and he was remembering his family, his parents. He wanted to go back home. For that, he planned to act, to create something so that the matron of the school, the doctor who was deputed to check the students, to keep vigilance on their health in the hostel, they could allow him to go back. So in what way he is presenting himself? I had explained you in the last part of the story, in the beginning part, in which the writer thought an idea. He decided that he would pretend that he was suffering from appendix. There is a kind of problem in our stomach, that is an organ, worm-like organ in the lower part of our right stomach, and when we suffer from that pain, then this part is to be removed to get relief. And so the narrator planned just to do the same. He thought an idea because he had seen how his sister had suffered from the same kind of problem. She suffered in a real way. And what was the symptoms she was showing during that period when she was suffering from appendix? He had observed minutely, and he decided that he would do the same. He would enact the same in the school, in the hostel, so that the matron, who is the in charge of the students, the way they are living, how they are living, to make every arrangements, to see the medical problems, all that is matron. And he decided that he would also enact, like his sister had the problem and she was suffering. What was the impact of that suffering on her body and how she was feeling pain? He decided, and he was sure, he was confident that he would get success. And he did. So he had already seen that period, what had happened, how the operation was done to his sister. and he had asked many questions after the operation to his nanny about the appendix. When he had shown the part, he saw the part of the organ which was removed from the body of his sister, which was kept in the glass, that was already kept to be watched only by family members. This operation was done at his home only. The local doctor had come and operated his sister, and the organ that was removed, that is called appendix, was kept in the bottle, and everybody was allowed to see that, what part was that and what was the condition. So he had asked several questions to his nanny, and his nanny had answered one by one to each of his queries, and she had explained the reason why the appendix had gone bad was the tooth bristle through which we are brushing the teeth. When the tooth of the brush comes out, becomes loose and comes out, is broken, and it goes inside our stomach only with the meal, it sticks to the appendix and it really decays the appendix. The appendix is rotten due to that bristle of the toothbrush. So I had explained you till 12 paragraph. Till 12 paragraph it was explained. Now let us see next. In 12 paragraph he had asked question to Nani, toothbrush bristles? I cried. How can toothbrush bristles make your appendix go bad? He was surprised. How only a bristle of toothbrush can really be the reason to go that appendix bad? This is the question in his mind. Nani, who is, let us see now from next para, that is 13. Nani, who in my eyes was filled with, means she was really very loving to the writer. His Nani was very loving. He loved his Nani so much. More wisdom than Solomon. He considered, that his Nani was really very wise, and she also replied in such a way like the Solomon. Solomon is compared here because Solomon is considered as a very wise king. He was in the history a very wise king, and so he is known and popular for his wisdom. So she also replied in the way as she was very wise, like Solomon. She explained, whenever a bristle comes out of your toothbrush and you swallow it, it sticks in your appendix and turns it rotten. She explained, as I have told you right now, that when the bristle of the toothbrush is swallowed by our food, with our food, and goes in the stomach and sticks in our appendix, then it is only just here the reason that our appendix is rotten. In the war is what year? The war that was here 1914 to 1918 war. This is being talked here, war. In the war, she continued telling, his Nani continued telling, in the war, the German spies used to secretly send box loads of loose bristled toothbrushes into our shops, and millions of our soldiers got appendicitis. She told that when there was a war, the German spies are here, detectives. German spies used to secretly, means very silently, stealthily, send box loads of loose bristled toothbrushes into our shops, and millions of our soldiers got this disease, that is appendicitis. She explained what was the reason that the bristle of the toothbrush really was the cause of that appendix. She explained, and she gave the reference of the war, World War. Honestly, Nani, I cried. The narrator really just was not believing this. So he again questioned, honestly, Nani, this is the fact. This is the reality. Is that honestly true? I never lied to you, child. She answered. She told, my dear, do you think that I ever have told a lie to you? Never. I am telling true. So let that be a lesson to you never to use an old toothbrush. So you learn a lesson. You should never use the toothbrush which is old, because the tooth bristle may break, may be loose, and the same will happen with you also. She taught him a lesson. She warned him. She made the writer alert. For years after that, I used to get nervous whenever I found a toothbrush bristle on my tongue. So onwards, after that, several years, the writer, the narrator of the story, was nervous whenever he found that any bristle of the toothbrush was in his mouth, on his tongue. The same story came to his mind, the warning his Nani had given about the reason of appendix. And so he reminded that story. As I went upstairs and knocked on the brown door after breakfast, I did not even feel frightened of the matron. So he went upstairs and then knocked the brown door after his breakfast, and that time he was not frightened at all of the matron. Come in, boomed the voice. The voice from inside came, that boomed only. Come in. The matron permitted him to come inside. I entered the room clutching my stomach. As he had thought, as he had planned, he did the same, clutching his stomach on the right-handed part only, and staggering pathetically. And he was dragging him inside. He entered in the room only, staggering like he was not able to move. He was not able to move, but still he was dragging himself in that way, acting, doing acting. He was just dragging pathetically so that matron could really feel very kind to him, pathetic to him. What's the matter with you? The matron shouted. The matron asked him, what was the matter? It hurts, matron. It hurts. I moaned. The narrator made a very painful sound. Oh, it hurts so much. Just here. It's just here, he told. The narrator told. You have been overeating. The matron told the reason. She guessed that he must have eaten so much, and that was the reason only that there was a stomach pain. She snapped. She interrupted irritatedly. She told, you have been overeating. What do you expect if you gobble cake all day long? If you will be gobbling when you are really just putting the food only whole day, something here only all the time, your mouth is already stuffed with that. So she told, if all day you will be only eating the cake only, what will happen? Like this problem that you are facing, you will have to face. I haven't eaten a thing for days. I lied. The narrator himself is telling. I lied. Means he was telling lie to her. What did he tell? I haven't eaten a thing for days. I haven't eaten, ma'am, for several days anything. I couldn't eat, matron. I couldn't eat. I am not able to eat. I simply couldn't. He emphasized on his statement. He stressed on that statement, repeated, so that matron could believe him. Get on the bed, she ordered. She told him to go on the bed and lay down. I lay on the bed and she began prodding my tummy with her fingers. When the narrator lay down on the bed, the matron started poking like this with her finger. She started prodding. Prodding means why? Poking. She started poking to really observe, to inspect what was the problem in his stomach. I was watching her carefully. When she was prodding his stomach, the narrator was watching very carefully. Is what was the impact on her, how she was going to react, what she was thinking about that. And when she hit what I guessed was the appendix place, when the matron just prodding that one, poking that part, reached to that part where the narrator thought there only the appendix is here, then I let out a cry that rattled the window panes. Ow! 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 Like that, he started really crying, making just a very loud sound. So, to make her feel that he was feeling much pain, it was unbearable pain. I cried out, "Don't, madam, don't, please, don't, matron, you please, don't please poke there because I am not able to bear the pain when you are prodding." Then I slipped in the clincher. I have been sick all morning. I moaned. He told even that all the morning he had been sick. He had been very sad. He had been feeling pain. And now there is nothing left to be sick with, but I still feel sick. I am still feeling sick. I am still feeling pain. It is unbearable. This was the right move. I saw her hesitate. Stay where you are. He saw that she told him to stay wherever he was. When he was laying, she told him to be there only. She said and walked quickly from the room. She walked quickly from the room. She left the room. The matron went out of the room. She had had a nurse's training. She had got the nurse's training. She could realize, she could feel. And she did not want a ruptured appendix on her hands. But matron didn't want that. When she was observing, she was poking, the appendix could really be broken. So she better thought to call a doctor. Doctor could better feel, could understand. So she went out of the room to call a doctor. Within an hour, the doctor arrived and he went through the same prodding. When the doctor came, he also followed the same process as the matron had done. He also started prodding, poking like that, and I did my helping at what I thought were the proper times. And again, the writer did the same action, same drama, as you all are sometimes here doing. Same. When the doctor reached to the place at the part of his stomach, his abdomen, where appendix is here found, is situated that organ, he started helping, a great cry, extreme cry. Then he put a thermometer in my mouth, and then the doctor put the thermometer in his mouth to read the temperature. He said, it reads normal. He told that the temperature was normal. Let me feel your stomach once more. Then the doctor decided to check the stomach once again. What was the condition here of the stomach? To make sure. Ouch! I screamed when he touched the vital spot. Means the same spot, the appendix spot. When he touched that, he again made the same painful cry. Ouch! The doctor went away with the matron. Like the matron, he must have felt it safer to send me home rather than risk an appendicitis operation in the school. His plan succeeded. Writer's plan succeeded. And he realized, the writer realized, the narrator realized that as the matron had thought to send him back home only, so the doctor also thought the same, rather to take a risk to keep him in the hostel and to do any operation there. So they better thought to send him back to home. The matron returned half an hour later and said, the matron returned after an hour and then she said, the headmaster has telephoned your mother. She informed the narrator that the headmaster had telephoned his mother and she is coming to fetch you this afternoon. And she informed that his mother was coming that afternoon to take him. This was what? The information she gave to the writer, to the narrator. How interesting. You might be thinking here, this was somewhat very here resembling a story as you do sometimes. Students, those who are homesick, not all, not many. I am talking about fistful of students, very few. But you should not. You should be fair. You should be truthful. And you should really get an opportunity like this. Whenever you get, you should utilize. You should learn. Because this is the time that you can go outside your home. You may learn a lot from the environment outside. And you will learn how to be independent. How you can enjoy the life of independent. So, here, again I am waiting here. So when the matron informed him that his mother was coming that afternoon to take him, to face him, he became very happy, extremely happy. You can see in 31 para. I didn't answer her. The narrator still was acting. He was very happy that his plan succeeded. He didn't answer. He was still acting, that he was serious. I just lay there trying to look very ill. He was still pretending that he was very ill. He was feeling pain. He was suffering. But my heart was singing out with all sorts of wonderful songs of praise, of joy. Very well, you can see the line tells you. He was so happy. His heart was singing. He was extremely excited now. He will go back home. He will meet all his family members, his parents, his mother. And so he was very happy. Now this is the part today I am concluding. I will see now the next day what happens when he reaches home. Next part I will explain you in the next part of the year explanation. Till then, stay safe, be healthy, and go through whole chapter minutely and sincerely. Thank you very much, all of you. Wish you all the best. Thank you.